and fight the illegal thing strongly. Why can't Ghana, for example, declare that for the next 1-2 years, we are not going to allow any small-scale mining so that we can work on all the lands that they have already destroyed, reclaim them, and get our river bodies running so that our farmers can do their irrigation and their spraying of their farms. It is in the interest of every one of us as a country, and I think that government must come back to this fight. We don't have to run away from the fight. It is a fight that we have to fight now. Otherwise, our future is in danger.
Well, stay with me, Doc. Let me bring in Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe. He is lead convener for the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. Doc, if you listen to Dr. Adu, he says we have to ask miners to put a hold on their activities for us to allow our cocoa farmers to get access to water to spray their farms. You have been following this fight against Galamsey. At this point, what do you make of the fight?
Well, it's interesting that we have all the signs of a country that is on the path of ecological suicide, but we don't see, our leaders do not seem to see that, and we seem to cut our tongues and we think we have some meat that we're chewing. If you look at the graphic, the front page of graphic today, Boy Nedu says cocoa is the country's oxygen, but we're cutting it off. Not only is the issue of the watering of these cocoa farms a problem, but it's also the fact that even the heavy metals, is impacting the quality of our cocoa. And this has been one source of sustainable funding for our country. And we just are killing it. You have situations where, even some forest reserves that have been put there for, ages that are supposed to help us in, this green thing that we're doing and carbon. But then you find the Minister for Land and Natural Resources calling for increased forest finance. But we are giving some of these forest reserves, we are giving them up to, mining activities that are destroying them. So it is sad that all of these things are happening and we are destroying our very essence as a people. And we don't seem to see it because this issue about cocoa farm is not just today that we know that there's a loan that have been returned. The risk to our, our cocoa, going forward has been set to the extent that when you're going to some countries like Japan, the level of text that you have to do before your cocoa goes to Japan is something else. We have heard the fact that even in the EU are saying that if you are not too careful, they might ban our cocoa. And now, you have the situation where, you now have lost this money. It is just the fact that our leaders are not doing what it is that they need to be doing. That's the basic truth. We have all the laws that we have. Ask yourself, what has happened to Akonta Mining? Akonta Mining, the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, pointed him out that he was engaged in an illegality. Akonta Mining has the MPP, Ashanti Regional Chairman, has that he and another person are the directors of that particular organization. We petitioned the IGP and it was forwarded to the Director General CID. What has happened to it? So when you don't treat these things with the seriousness they deserve, how do you think that others are going to do it? As we speak, if you go on to all our river bodies, the champagnes are back on it. But we have laws that says all of those things are proscribed. You cannot do it. It is just about the fact that, we are toying with our future. And the way we are going, it's not only cocoa that is going to go, but even the water to drink itself. We might be importing it, so it's not only that they would have to carry it from their homes, but it is even going to be imported. And so how are you going to water your cocoa farms?
With an expensive
water. And we
see
all of these things, and we don't seem to wanting to fight this because, we are seeing today's money that we're getting, and we are, just focusing on a very Esau-like, mentality, what we get today, forgetting about even our tomorrow, not even talking about those, who are going to come after us.
Is this latest development an affirmation of government's failure in the fight against illegal mining?
No, it is just one of them. It's just one of the signs of the fact that this fight against Galamsey is failing. Not only that, if you have the situation, there's a pathologist in KNUST who is showing children who are now being born, fetuses that are very badly deformed. You have the situation where renal diseases are on the increase in some of these areas. You have the situations where even we've had the issues of Cote d'Ivoire have been complaining about the fact that our activities are polluting their water body. So that the signs are, the turbidity of water, that we're getting. The signs are on. It is very sad that we're keeping on saying the same things, and we are on the road to extinction. That's what we are on. In any war, if you have people poisoning the waters of their enemies, it's considered a serious war crime. I don't know what people will say about people who poison their own water. Very recently, Erasmus did some work that is telling us that even Ghana water, when they do the treatment of the water, they might not be taking all the heavy metals out of it. So you are sitting in Accra, you're sitting in Kumasi thinking that you are not impacted. But you never can be too sure. I remember CSI some time ago, they did some research, and when they went out doing research, they bought bread from some of these communities. When they came back to do, the research, the level of heavy metals that were in it. So the signs are on the ground that we are killing ourselves.
But having fought this for all these years, I mean, this didn't start today. It started some governments past. Till today, if we're still not winning, do we throw ourselves in the air and say, well, we've considered we're defeated?
We cannot. So, for me, I think that the time has come for us, to rekindle the fight. Fortunately for us, there's an elections coming, so we need to be asking the government that is in power, what are you doing to fix this problem? We need to be asking, the vice president who wants to become president. We need to be asking, John Mahama, who also wants to become president. What are the concrete measures? And be holding this to the people and say, if they cannot really resolve this issue, then we should be rethinking who we're going to be voting for. So that we need to do that. We need to also get into, the time has also come for us to intensify a lot more of our investigative reportage.
Okay.
So that we can, be able to bring these people up and, push the government. We also gotten to the time where we might have to start considering some of the other courts, that we can go to beyond our Ghanaian courts. To say that where can we go to? Can we go to the Hague? Where can we go to?
Okay.
Because we cannot throw our hands in there. And it's important that, Joy FM, you don't just do this as, you wait only for Erastus to go and do this one also come. We need the whole journalists in Ghana. We need to rekindle this fight again and have a campaign, a sustainable campaign to say this, trend that we are on. If we don't find a way of changing it, unfortunately, all of us will be doomed.
All of us have to join the fight. I'm grateful to you, Doc. Let me bring in Samson Ahi. He is member of the Agri Committee of Parliament. But grateful to you for joining us here. Now, does this come to you as a surprise that our water bodies in many of these cocoa growing areas are so polluted that Cocoa Board could not operate an irrigation system to help farmers?
Hello?
Oh, did you hear me?
Yeah, good. I can hear you now.
Yes, so I wanted to find out from you whether this development or this latest news of the Cocoa Board returning an amount of $250 million, part of which was meant for an irrigation scheme because of the pollution of our river bodies. Does it come to you as a surprise as a member of the Agri Committee of Parliament?
Yeah, let me say good evening to your listeners and say that, yes, I'm surprised and shocked at this development. And just to say that the 1992 Constitution imposes an obligation on the president to protect all natural resources for the people of Ghana. All natural resources, which river bodies are included. If you look at Article 257, it imposes an obligation on the government or the president to protect natural resources. So for the Ghana Cocoa Board CEO to come out to admit that the Galamsey activities have destroyed water bodies is an admission of the failure on the part of this current government. Because if you could recall, the Professor conducted done the investigation.
Is it Professor Frimpong
Boateng?
Okay.
Professor Frimpong Boateng conducted investigation, and the report indicated the number of government officials who are personally involved and engaged in illegal mining for Galamsey activities. And so now, if you are being told that Galamsey activities are destroying river bodies to the extent that money made for irrigating cocoa farms has to be returned because they cannot get raw water to water the cocoa farms, then it's just an admission of a monumental failure on the part of Nanado and the Union government, because they have failed to adhere to that constitutional provision to protect our natural resources. So I think that it's unfortunate. It's a very sad situation, but I know that the government is aware that people who are involved in this illegal mining activity, he knows them. Some of them are in his government, but just that because the government has sanctioned illegal activity, mining activities in this country, that is why they cannot control. They couldn't control it, and now we are being told that we've lost our river bodies, and then because of that, even we can't even do irrigation. Farming anymore in this country.
As a member of the Agri Committee, you have a responsibility. Again, you are a representative in Parliament. You are clothed with a responsibility to check what happens in this country. What are you going to do when Parliament reconvenes to address this matter, because it's getting out of hand?
The first thing is to invite the Minister of Agri, who is responsible for Cocoa Board, to come and then explain to us and then give us the research that they have conducted, which is proving that we can no longer do irrigation farming with regards to cocoa. So we will do that, and we'll also try and file some other questions and elicit for answers on some of the developing issues which are coming now, because we all know the importance of cocoa to the Ghana's economy. And for us to be told that now we have to put our arms, and then we can't do anything about it. We can't do irrigation farming. We can't do. We can't increase our production because, as far as we are concerned, cocoa board, the output has declined drastically. They couldn't even meet 50% of their 2023-2024 target. And so, if we are being told that it's a result of illegal mining, as a result of Galamsey, that is why river bodies are dead, and now we can't even have raw water to irrigate our cocoa farm. This is a serious matter which, when we resume, as a committee, we take it up to try and find answers to some of these questions.
Thank you, Honorable Samson. Samson here is member of the Agri Committee of Parliament. Fifi Boafo, so I mean, what's the board doing now to support farmers or to ensure that we still maintain our production levels? We are told that this year we did badly. I mean, for the 2023-2024 season, we've done somewhere around 600,000 tons, which is quite an underperformance, isn't it?
Well, I admit that the production this year has not been the best, but the reason for the low production is not exclusively as a result of illegal mining. Weather generally has been a major contributing factor to the poor production, and it is not a Ghana exclusive. I'm sure all of us are aware of the fact that cocoa production generally across the globe has suffered, and that is why we see the astronomical increase in price of cocoa. So that's not Ghana exclusive. Of course, there are other factors like the soil issues and weather, as I've indicated, that have contributed, and illegal mining, as we are discussing. So it is not exclusive issue of illegal mining that has contributed to the poor production we are experiencing. And it is not just Ghana, let me re-emphasize the point, so that we do not just create the impression that it's because of illegal mining, that is why the entire world cocoa production has suffered. Yes, we admit that illegal mining is having a serious effect on cocoa production, but that is not the only reason.
So this year we did around 600,000 tons?
Well, the year is not ended. The year will end at the end of September. And one of the things we do not discuss is production numbers, specific numbers, as well as stocks and then sales. So definitely at the end of the year, we'll discuss the details.
But now that farmers would have to carry water from their homes, I'm not sure they would have enough water to even go about, spraying their farms. Is there any intervention the Cocoa Board is implementing to support these farmers?
Well, our extension staff are engaging farmers on how best they could mitigate the effect of these challenges they face today, and that is ongoing.
All right, grateful to you. Stephen Fifi Boafo is Head of Public Affairs at Cocoa Board. Dr. Robert Edu, just as we try to protect the economy of Ghana and we look at what is ahead of us, what strategic things should government do in order to safeguard the cocoa sector, to safeguard the economy as well?
Well, Grace, I think that the solution is known to everybody. A more sustainable solution is to stop the galamsey activity so that our farmers can continue to do their farming. In the interim, I'm not too sure whether it's even going to be a good solution, but some farmers who have resources will begin to create boreholes on their farms so that instead of carrying the water from home, you'll be able to draw some water on your farm and use it to do your spraying. But it is not going to help you to do serious irrigation. But for spraying purposes, some farmers can do that. It's not everybody who can sink a borehole. So it's worrying. So let's hope that government will show leadership, and then we'll come back to this fight against galamsey so that we'll have a lasting and sustainable solution to this challenge.
All right, I'm grateful to you, Dr. Robert Edu. He is a Greek economist with KNUST, and thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us. We had on this discussion Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashigbe, his lead convener for Media Coalition Against Galamsey. We also have Fifi Boafo, who speaks for Cocoa Board, and Dr. Robert Edu, as well as Samson Ahi. My name is Samuel Braze. Up next is Ghana Connect with Kweku Asante.